Hey guys,
Hi.
thanks for being here today. And what we're going to talk about today, Angela?
Well, full time.
Full
How
time.
did we get there?
How did we get here and why? Hey, just so you know, I got a couple of notes down here because I want to stay on topic. So if I'm glancing down, that's why. There is a question that comes up to us all the time, in one way or another, when we're visiting with people here or at campsites, and we get into the conversation. Usually it comes up something like this: hey, where are you guys traveling from? And we say, here. Or this is, we live wherever we
you
are.
live here. Here.
Yeah, exactly. And we tell them we're full-time RVers. And so then the two natural questions that come up with that are, oh wow, how long have you been doing that, and how did you get into it? So that's why we decided to do this today, right?
Right.
Right, to talk about how we got here and why we got here. So let's talk about all of that, and maybe you'll find that some of this resonates with you if you're already full-timing. Maybe you'll find that it gives you some good ideas if you're thinking about full-timing. So, and really the start of it is, it was not a plan. Not at the very beginning. Why don't you tell how we ended up leaving, selling our house and that sort of thing?
Well,
yeah.
We rented a house for a little while, and
After we sold our house.
after we sold the house.
Yeah.
And bought a trailer. And this was a new adventure for me because I have never camped in my life until buying the trailer. And so we bought an F-150 and bought a bumper pole. And in May, so you have to make your reservations 9 months prior. So I had no idea how many trips we could even make, and go from there.
Okay, I'll fill in just a couple of gaps. And one was just to answer the question of how we got into full timing was when we sold our house in 2016. We knew that we did not want to live anywhere near where we were. In fact, we wanted to get out of the state probably. But we weren't ready to buy because the housing market was still hot. And so that's why we rented for a while. And while we were renting, she brought up the idea, which I was excited about buying a truck and a travel trailer, because I grew up that way. So for me, it's like living, childhood memories all over again. But at any rate, after a few years of renting and camping, we still weren't ready to buy a place. And so I don't know if it was you or me. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? We're here. Got the idea of living in the RV until things changed. But we couldn't do it in the bumper pole. The layout was wrong, too small, and it was an issue too. The travel trailer was way outsized for the truck. We'll get into that sometime too, about dealers that talk you into things that shouldn't be. But so we ended up selling that half-ton truck, and we bought an F-150, and it ends up being a mid-size bed, 6 3/4 foot. That's significant because that's another thing that I want to talk about someday. Don't make that mistake. If you haven't bought a truck yet, or you're thinking about buying a truck, just go all the way to the top. Get a full bed, 1-ton dually, be done with it. But anyway, I digress. So we ended up living in our Arctic Fox fifth wheel for how long? I can't remember.
4 years.
4 years, okay. Again, I think as while we were here, it was in the latter part of 2023, we were having a conversation of, I've lost interest in owning a home, and how about you? And she was like, yeah, me too. It's like taking so long, I just don't even want it anymore. I've come to really embrace this lifestyle. I love doing it. And, we didn't get into the whole progression, which I'll touch on real quickly, but we lived full-time in a town called Bonnie Lake in Western Washington, not far from where we lived in our house. And then we decided, let's get out of here. I'm working remotely. We don't need to be here. So we went to Central Oregon for about a year. your favorite place and mine, Bend,
Yes.
Oregon. We stayed there for a while. And now we're here in Caldwell, Idaho. So that is pretty much the nuts and bolts of how we came to be full-timers. But now we should talk about some of the reasons that people do full-time. And I don't know, I came up with a few. I know adventure is one of them.
Yes.
Some people do the full-time, the adventure of traveling all over the country. Some people are doing this because it's necessary. They can't afford the house. That's kind of where we were for a while.
Right.
Can't afford the house, and rent is expensive, and so they're doing this. Another would be a transition phase where somebody is building a house.
Right.
And they're waiting, while that's happening, and so they're living in the RV. So I think there's probably three main reasons. I know there's a bunch of them, but there's three main reasons I think that people experience the full-time life. There are those that are able to travel all the time,
Right.
or at least it appears they travel all the time. You've seen those YouTube channels where every week they're somewhere else. I personally wonder how you can do that without getting exhausted, or where you
Right.
come up with the money to do that, because it's very expensive. And it's not just the RV park, is it? I mean, you got gas to get from one
Yes.
place to another.
And gas is expensive these days, so
Right. Yep. So that's one way they do it. Another way people experience it, this is my least favorite, is they're stationary always. They never go anywhere. We have in this park a whole bunch of people around us in the 3.5 years that we've been here who have never gone anywhere in their RV. Some of them have a second RV that they go camping in. I guess that's one way to do it. And then the third way is the way that we're doing it. It's kind of like part-time we're stationary, and part-time we're traveling.
Right.
And that is because, well, part of it is because it's more affordable that way. And I also am still working. I'm not retired like my lucky wife is. It's not fair. I got a little ways to go yet. And I have to, and even though I do work remotely, I have some territory responsibility in this area. So we do travel that way. And I think that pretty much covers the way that people experience it. I think something that we probably would be nice to address for some people is the false illusion that living full-time in an RV is a life of fun and adventure and no troubles. And while there is fun and there is adventure, and sometimes we don't have troubles, there's also troubles. So that is something you need to bear in mind. There's a lot of ways that living full-time in an RV is just like living full-time in a house. We still have to live life. You still have to go here and go there and take care of this and take care of that. You still have your health issues to deal with. You still have maintenance to deal with. You still have bills to pay. It's just,
Right.
It is not this some sort of fairy tale. But that said, it's a blast. We love full timing. We've been on this for
so
like,
fun.
oh my gosh. We've been doing this for how long?
going on the 6th year.
On this, oh my gosh, it's 5.5 years.
Yeah.
5.5 years, and we absolutely love it. Okay, real quick, let's just talk about two main types of RVs there are. There's the towables, and then there's the motorized. And they both offer unique advantages that the others doesn't. But the towable, I mean the motorhomes, you have the convenience of driving your RV. It's much easier to maneuver around, even if you're towing. Yeah, even if you have what they call a towed, a vehicle behind that's being towed. You know, you get to your campsite, you disconnect, you back your bus into your spot. It's just
and self-leveling.
Self-leveling. You push a button
Which
while you're
is
sitting in the
nice.
driver's seat. Yeah. So there's a lot of advantages. If you're traveling a lot, oh man, it's huge. Absolutely huge. You can go back and sit on the couch, make a sandwich, go to the bathroom, even while you're going down the highway.
Yeah, that's nice.
Those are really, really, really great advantages. Now for us, what led us to buy the towable type was the way that it feels once we're here.
It feels like home.
It does. And eventually you're not going to be going down the highway. You're going to be in your spot. If you're like us, a week, 2 weeks, a month, longer. And you're going to live there. And the way that you feel in this fifth wheel with 2 opposing slides, we'll do a little tour sometime here, not this video. We're sitting on the couch here. Over there we've got our recliners. Over there we have the fireplace and entertainment system and our kitchen, and it's just like a little miniature house living room. It's beautiful. It's awesome. In a motorized, you go in, your bedroom has to be at the back because you can't walk through the bedroom to get somewhere. So the bedrooms are always in the back, meaning you go straight down, you got seating here, seating there, dining room, kitchen, and straight on through. And it just isn't as homey. So
Not for us.
Not for us, and that's why we ended here. But there are a lot of advantages to motorized. It's very personal how it feels to you. So just take that with a grain of salt. Just real quickly, if you have a motorized, you have to figure out what vehicle works best for carrying that or towing behind it.
Right.
If you've got a towable, you've got to find the truck that is best suited for pulling your RV. Again, I'll get into that in another video because I'm all about go big or go home after making lots of mistakes on that. So I know we already touched on this, but here we are at 5.5 years of doing this, and we love it. It's a great way to live. We enjoy just living in the RV. We enjoy traveling in the RV. And there are 2 real super big, great, awesome, fantastic, super things.
Wow.
But
Those are a lot of adjectives.
a lot of adjectives about being in your RV and living in it. When we travel somewhere, we don't have to pack. We never forget anything. We have all of our food, all of our clothes, all of our toys, everything that we own, we take with us. And that is, if you haven't experienced that, you just don't know how wonderful that is to never go, God, I wish we'd packed that.
I know. How many times?
So that's great. We don't know if and when we'll ever stop doing this. We love it. So hopefully this video has been of some use to you. And we'll talk about some of those other things like the tow vehicle and that on another episode. But thanks for being here. We'll talk to you guys later.